Welcome to the Beyond Homelessness podcast, a series that shares the stories of young people who have experienced homelessness and those who work within the system designed to support them. Beyond Homelessness is a platform for young people to be heard, to tell stories that inspire, to have a voice at the table and see themselves represented. We believe that stories are a form of magic, that they can create new worlds, convey emotions, and inspire ideas. The stories you will hear in this series not only demonstrate the strength and resilience of the people sharing them, but will also get you thinking about viewpoints beyond your own and challenge you to consider the change that needs to take place in order to build a future where youth homelessness does not exist.
Hello, today is Youth Homelessness Matters Day. My name is Shirley and I'm here with Natasha. We are doing podcast interviews. Hi Tash.
Hi Shirley.
So Tash, I'll have a few questions for you. So what do you wish more people understood about youth homelessness?
So there's a few things that I wish that people more understood about youth homelessness, and the first thing is that every young person that is homeless, it is not their fault. They did not make a decision to become homeless and have nowhere safe to go that night. There are different reasons that cause a person to become homeless, but for youth, the biggest reason is family breakdown. So I know we all have fights in our family, but if it gets to a point where a young person doesn't feel safe at home anymore, or quite often a parent has kicked them out, they have nowhere else to go. So a lot of young people are couch surfing, they're staying at their friends' houses, some might be sleeping on trains, but quite often there also are young people that are making that really hard decision to sleep rough. They're making a decision to sleep in parks, to make a decision whether they sleep under light or not under light, what is going to cause them to be the most safest and get through the night. And that's an impossible choice. Nobody should be making that decision, whether they're a young person or not. But quite often we see young people that are turned away. We had 45,000 young people in 1 year that were experiencing homelessness, and more than half of those people were turned away. So where do young people go when they are turned away and they've got nowhere safe to go? That's when we're seeing young people sleeping rough. They're sleeping on trains, on buses, anywhere that they can get some warmth and some shelter. And it's not okay. It's a human right that everybody has a safe place to stay at night. And young people especially, they have the rest of their lives ahead of them. They shouldn't be making a decision on whether they need to sleep on a train or in a park to get through the night.
Thanks Tash, that's really, really powerful. If you could send a message to decision makers, what would you say?
I'd love to say to decision makers that yes, there are stats, but these are young people behind the stats. These are real people's lives. What if it was your daughter or your granddaughter or your friend's child? You wouldn't want them to be making that decision on where they can go, on whether they should be sleeping in a park or whether they should be sleeping on a train or not. It's an impossible decision, and I just wish that people knew that these are young people behind them. They have real thoughts, real emotions. They are people, and they deserve a right to sleep in a safe space just as much as anybody else. It's a real invisible crisis as well, and I feel like a lot of people like to put youth homelessness to the side. I feel like homelessness is something that isn't talked about as much, and especially in this day and age with the housing crisis, the cost of living crisis. I think a lot of people are becoming indifferent to homelessness and think, well, you just need to find somewhere to sleep, but it's not as simple as that, and it's affecting a lot of young people with the rest of their lives ahead of them. So another thing is that young people are becoming the biggest group of voters coming up, and as an election year, I do think that decision makers should be really listening to young people and their needs. And housing is one of the biggest needs, and affordable housing, accessible housing. That is what young people need, and decision makers need to do more about it.
Thanks Tash, I really hope that people in power hear that. So I have a last question for you. If you could go back and give advice to your younger self before experiencing homelessness, what would you say?
So I first experienced homelessness about 8 to 10 years ago, and when I did finally move out of home, I felt really alone and I felt really scared. I didn't have a good relationship with any of my family at the time, and they didn't support me in what I was doing, so I felt like I had no one behind me and no support, no one that cared. And when you're making that decision to move out, and at 16 especially, when you've got so much going on, you're trying to get through school, you should be worrying about assignments and homework, but instead you're worrying about where you're going to sleep. I really relied on the youth workers around me and their love and support, and if I didn't have that support and that care from them, then things would have turned out a lot different for me. We're all human, we all want love, we all want comfort, we all want connection, and especially a young person who may be experiencing homelessness, they're having family breakdown, they're having problems at school, they may not be seeing their friends due to isolation for different reasons. We need that care, we need that support, and we need to show these young people that they're not alone in what they're facing and that it is going to be okay. There are people out there that are trying and want to help them and that can help, and they're not alone. So yeah, that's my biggest message.
Thank you. I actually got schooled from that. So I hope other young people, they got the support you got in the past as well. Thank you for sharing.
And that's why we're here today, to spread awareness and to raise awareness and hopefully funding eventually from the government, that we need more services, we need more funding, we need more beds, and we also need more people that can offer that help and support for those young people. So thank you for having me.
Thanks, Tash.
The Beyond Homelessness podcast is brought to you by Project Youth, a community-based charity serving the young people of the Sutherland Shire and St George area in Sydney, Australia. It is a series about young people, told by young people, and produced by young people. By listening today, you have supported the training and employment pathways for young people who are involved in the production of the podcast. Project Youth seeks to create a future where youth homelessness does not exist. If you'd like to know more about the work of Project Youth, the stories of the young people we support, or find ways in which you can be involved, head to our website at projectyouth.org.au or follow us on social media. See the bio for links.